Good morning. It is 10:20 a.m. on Saturday, March 20th, 2021. I'm Christiana Ellis and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. So, a big thing changed for me since I last spoke to you all, and that is that yesterday I received an appointment to go get my COVID vaccine, and then I went and I got my COVID vaccine. Yeah. I was a little surprised it was earlier than I expected. I had thought that the group that I am a part of, which is, by the way, none of the qualifying medical conditions, but I do work in an industry that can be categorized as medical supply chain workers, and so that was a group of jobs that is, not like first responder, but, a little bit ahead of just anyone. But I thought it was still a little ways out before I would be looking to get one. But, I get a little phone call that says, hey, you can come make an appointment with us. It's like, what am I going to do? Argue with their computer? No, not me. So I went in. In fact, I called them back. They said, are you available today? I said, yes. Sure enough, I went into the Boston Medical Center and got my shot. So I got a shot of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, and so this one is the one that's just one dose. So that means I'm done, or at least as far as we know right now. The other shots have the defined 2 doses. This one is just the one, and so at this time I'm not scheduled to get anything else. My understanding is that, like, as time goes on, because bear in mind, all of these vaccines are currently, being used under the emergency use authorization based on some preliminary studies where, like, they did significant studies to say, like, let's try to make sure that these are safe and effective and so on. And so I felt comfortable taking it with no hesitation. But it's true also, though, that usually there's more testing that is done on vaccines and medications before it would be approved by the FDA, say. And so there are some things about them that, we're going to continue to learn over time. And that's going to be things like, how long does the protection last? Like right now, we're confident that it's at least 3 months. It's probably longer. But are we talking about something where, like, we may need to get boosters on some regular basis? Maybe. Is it something where we'll discover that, hey, this one is pretty effective with 1 dose, but maybe if we get a booster of it later, that's even better, or things like that, right? Because it just comes down to what we know about it is the way that it was tested. So the Johnson & Johnson one was tested with 1 dose. The others were tested with 2. So it's quite possible, for example, that if you get one of the ones that's supposed to be 2 doses and you only got the first one, that you'd still be better protected than if you only didn't get either, right? So it's all kind of like we're learning these things. But nonetheless, I believe in vaccines. I think that they're important, and I was happy to go and get one at the first opportunity that I had to get one, so I did. So I got my shot at about 1:30 yesterday. And then all evening and afternoon, I didn't really have any symptoms or any reaction at all. Maybe very minor achiness in the arm, but like nothing that I would even complain about. I mean, it's the sort of thing where would have to like, is my arm sore? Maybe a little, that sort of thing. That said, I did wake up at like 3:30 last night feeling a little bit feverish, but thankfully nothing that a little ibuprofen couldn't help me get back to sleep. And so this morning I'm still feeling like maybe a little bit woozy, like I'm probably going to take some more ibuprofen. I let myself sleep in a little bit and that sort of thing. So like maybe a little bit of fatigue and everything, but not so bad. Not so bad. Still very, certainly not regretting anything, right? Like one of the things that they told me was that, it's going to start to have some protection at about 14 days and then full at its full power after 28 days. But the other thing is, of course, that because some of the things that we still don't know very much is like, for example, even if, like, let's fast forward the clock 28 days and say, okay, now my vaccine has taken full effect. Does that mean that I cannot transfer COVID to someone? Like if someone sneezes their particles onto me and then I sneeze them onto someone else, even though I don't get sick, could I get someone else sick, right? That's what some of these things we don't have super great information on yet. So we'll have to, get that over time. So what that means is that we're not going back to full normal yet, right? Like even once we get more people vaccinated, like that's the big push right now. Got to get as many people vaccinated as we can, and they're working on it, which is good. And that means though that still doing masks for a while, still probably limiting big gatherings for a while. But what's going to be great, for example, is that just before this lockdown, I had just started playing my first in-person D&D campaign, right? But now, maybe once we all get vaccinated, it'll be the sort of thing where we could do that in person again instead of having to just only do it on Zoom. So it's good. All right, so good luck, everyone, getting your own vaccines, and I will talk to you all tomorrow for 5 more minutes.